What if I told you there's a part of you that wants to burn down everything you spent your life building? The neat little walls you put up, the safe little cage you've made for yourself. What if I told you that a part of you is dying to tear it all down? Meet your shadow self, your own Tyler Durden.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Let me tell you a little bit about Tyler Durden.
The side of you holding onto all the rage you don't let loose, the desires you bury, the potential you never let out of the box. Tyler isn't just a character in Fight Club. He's the ego unleashed, your shadow, raw and unfiltered. And the only question is, are you ready to meet yours?
I don't understand this.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do this on your own. All the ways you wish you could be, that's me.
And Fight Club is one of my all-time favorite films, as it inspired me to awaken to my own shadow, and it eventually changed the trajectory of my life. Fight Club showed me the shadow's raw, unapologetic force to reveal our true desires that breaks us out of complacency and pushes us toward our own growth.
I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck, I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
Even if the method is harsh and morally challenging. And everyone experiences this Fight Club of the mind when you are not aware of yourself. That's why it is called the shadow. By understanding this shadow aspect of our own consciousness and how it suppresses your own feminine energy within when we go unconscious, we can then learn to integrate and become more of our true selves.
That old saying, how you always hurt the one you love? Well, it works both ways.
In the opening credits, the film starts coming from the mind of the main character, symbolizing that this film is about a part of us we cannot see, which is a mind full of darkness, always perceiving in lack due to not knowing love, which is like a loaded gun. In Fight Club, Marla Singer represents the feminine energy and emotional vulnerability that the narrator suppresses within himself. As part of his shadow, this feminine aspect becomes neglected and twisted, symbolizing how our unaddressed or repressed feminine qualities within us can manifest in distorted ways. The main character's addiction to the support groups reflects the narrator's fear of vulnerability, which is a key aspect of his repression of feminine energy.
I became addicted. If I didn't say anything, people always assume the worst.
Welcome, Travis. Welcome, Travis.
They cried harder, then I cried harder.
Marla embodies emotional rawness and the need for genuine human connection, qualities that threaten his carefully constructed facade of control and detachment. The main character's addiction to these lower states of consciousness and emotions is what creates the introduction of Marla into his life.
I realized that all of this, the gun, the bombs, the revolution, has got something to do with a girl named Marla Singer.
Even his insomnia symbolizes the unconscious state of the main character and being stuck in his pre-programmed lifestyle.
Like so many others, I had become a slave to the IKEA nesting instinct.
This is also shown in his perfectly decorated IKEA home that really hides his pain.
I'd flip through catalogs and wonder, what kind of dining set defines me as a person?
And the only way he can become vulnerable is by being around others who are suffering.
Now we're going to open the green door, the heart chakra.
I wasn't really dying. I wasn't host to cancer or parasites. I was the warm little center that the life of this world crowded around.
Which show the lack of personal compassion, love, and nurturing he has.
And then, something happened. I let go. Lost in oblivion. Dark and silent and complete. I found freedom. Losing all hope was freedom.
It's okay.
Babies don't sleep this well. Every evening I died, and every evening I was born again, resurrected.
His addiction to this nihilistic mindset and suffering of a victimized mind is what ends up creating an alter ego called Tyler Durden.
If you wake up at a different time, in a different place, could you wake up as a different person?
But the farther he goes into himself, he sees his power animal in Marla. And Marla disrupts his superficial world and introduces him to discomfort and compassion, emotions he suppresses.
If I did have a tumor, I'd name it Marla. Marla. The little scratch on the roof of your mouth that would heal if only you could stop tonguing it, but you can't.
Deeper into your cave.
Now look, this is important, okay? These are my groups. I've been coming here for over a year.
Why do you do it?
I don't know. When people think you're dying, man, they really, really listen to you instead of just
waiting for their turn to speak.
Yeah. Look, you don't want to get into this. It becomes an addiction.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I can't cry if there's another faker present, and I need this. So you gotta find somewhere else to go.
Marla represents chaos and discomfort, qualities the narrator finds unbearable in himself and avoids by creating Tyler.
And this is how I met
Tyler Durden.
Did you know if you mixed equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you can make napalm?
No, I did not know that. Is that true?
That's right. One can make all kinds of explosives using simple household items.
Really?
If one were so inclined.
Who embodies his craving for control and power. Tyler's existence symbolizes the narrator's inability to face his inner chaos and emotional turmoil directly. But Marla constantly challenges him to acknowledge his vulnerability by being unfiltered, damaged, and unapologetically messy, reflecting the suppressed chaos he's running from.
Marla's philosophy of life was that she might die at any moment. The tragedy, she said, was that she didn't.
Doesn't have your name. Who are you? Cornelius? Rupert? Travis? Any of the stupid names you give each night?
In Jungian psychology, the anima is a man's inner feminine aspect, which allows him to access emotional depth, empathy, and intuition. By creating Tyler and ignoring Marla's presence, the narrator avoids integrating this inner feminine side, which is vital for wholeness. And Tyler, as the narrator's shadow, pushes him to reject softness and vulnerability, instead promoting extreme masculinity and independence, which keeps him distant from Marla and from his own emotions. The narrator living his sanitized corporate life, trying to fill the emptiness with stuff, possessions, routines, hoping that all comfort will make him happy.
I don't know, it's just when you buy furniture, you tell yourself, that's it, that's the last sofa I'm gonna need. Whatever else happens, I've got that sofa problem handled. I had it all. I had a stereo that was very decent, a wardrobe that was getting very respectable. I was close to being complete.
Shit, man, now it's all gone.
All gone. All gone.
But deep down, there's a storm building, a shadow taking shape, a part of him that's sick of being sedated. And then Tyler Durden shows up.
So fuck off with your sofa units and string green stripe patterns. I say never be complete. I say stop being perfect. I say let's evolve. Let the chips fall where they may.
He's fearless, chaotic, absolutely unrestrained, and the opposite of everything the narrator's been taught to be.
Things you own end up owning you.
Tyler is the shadow self, unleashed to tear down the illusions and burn down the lies. He's not evil, he's just a side of the narrator that's tired of playing along. And the shadow self is all the parts of you that don't fit into society's neat little boxes. The anger, the fear, the potential for something real. And Tyler's recklessness shows the narrator the freedom he craves, the chance to destroy the old version of himself and rebuild from scratch. And one of my favorite lines from this movie,
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
This line sums up the entire experience of this reality.
Never been in a fight, you?
No, but that's a good thing.
No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. I don't want to die without any scars. So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
Oh, God. This is crazy.
So go crazy. Let her rip.
Hey, I don't know about this.
I don't either, but who gives a shit? No one's watching. What do you care?
Wait, this is crazy. You want me to hit you?
That's right.
What, like in the face?
Surprise me.
We inherit the shadow that exposes all the insecurities and pain that we neglect by constant illusions, which are thoughts of nihilism and destruction, which rejects the existence of fundamental aspects of human existence, such as knowledge, morality, meaning, and traditional values and beliefs, but pain, suffering, and rock bottom.
We were finding out more and more that we were not alone. It used to be that when I came home angry or depressed, I'd just clean my condo, polish my Scandinavian furniture. I should have been looking for a new condo. I should have been haggling with my insurance company. I should have been upset about my nice, neat, flaming little shit. But I wasn't.
Fight after fight, Tyler forces him to confront every buried truth, every dark impulse he's denied. By having our own inner fight clubs, we unconsciously forget who we are. But when we become conscious, we learn more about ourselves and remember who we truly are.
We should do this again sometime.
While Tyler represents an exaggerated, destructive masculine force, Marla represents authenticity.
I haven't seen you at any support groups.
Yeah, we split them up. That was the idea, remember?
Yeah, but you haven't been going to yours.
How do you know?
I cheated.
I found a new one.
Really?
It's for men only.
Like the testicle thing?
She lives without pretense, freely expressing her pain and desires. The narrator, unable to be his true self, is drawn to Marla because she embodies the honesty and vulnerability he fears in himself. However, he keeps Marla at a distance because acknowledging her would mean confronting his repressed feminine energy, which Tyler, his shadow, blocks from him doing.
You're not into her, are you?
No, God, not at all.
I am Jack's raging bile duct.
Are you sure? You can tell me.
Believe me, I'm sure.
Put a gun to my head and paint the walls with my brains.
Well, that's good, because she's a predator posing as a house pet. Stay away from that.
The rules of Fight Club are symbolic of the shadow self because they reflect the suppressed, hidden, and primal parts of ourselves that defy societal norms and values.
It was right in everyone's face. Tyler and I just made it visible. It was on the tip of everyone's tongue. Tyler and I just gave it a name.
The first rule of Fight Club is,
Welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
this rule is about secrecy and suppression, mirroring how we keep the shadow hidden from ourselves and others. Just as society encourages us to conceal our darker sides, the narrator and the other men keep Fight Club a secret, representing the unspoken, repressed aspects of our own psyches. And the shadow thrives in secrecy, feeding on what we push down and deny.
Second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Repeating this rule reinforces the need for secrecy, symbolizing how deeply we bury our shadow's aspects. By emphasizing the silence, this rule highlights our intense fear of confronting or revealing our darker sides. This is also symbolic of why we are seeing so much darkness in the world that has been kept hidden in secrecy.
Third rule of Fight Club, someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out. The fight is over.
This rule reflects the boundary where participants face their limits. It symbolizes how the shadow self pushes us to confront our fears, rage, and hidden desires until we reach a breaking point.
Fourth rule, only two guys to a fight.
Limiting each fight to 2 participants signifies the internal battle between the conscious self and the shadow, and each fight is a symbolic struggle between the part of us that wants to remain good and the repressed, instinctual side yearning for expression.
Fifth rule, one fight at a time, fellas.
This rule shows that personal growth requires us to confront our hidden desires and fears step by step, just as Fight Club limits each encounter to a single battle.
Sixth rule, no shirts, no shoes.
The removal of shirts and shoes represents stripping away societal masks and roles, confronting each other and oneself in a raw, vulnerable state. This reflects how the shadow self exists beneath our social personas, buried under layers of conditioning. And the 7th rule.
Fights will go on as long as they have to.
This rule speaks to the ongoing nature of shadow work. Confronting the shadow is not a one-time event. It's an intense, sometimes lifelong process that can't be rushed. The 8th and final rule.
This is your first night at Fight Club. You have to fight.
This rule captures the inevitability of facing the shadow. Just as newcomers to Fight Club must fight, every individual has a shadow that must eventually be confronted. This rule is symbolic of the universal need to face our inner darkness to achieve wholeness, regardless of how reluctant we may be.
Fight Club wasn't about winning or losing. It wasn't about words. The hysterical shouting was in tongues, like at a Pentecostal church.
Is that it? Stop!
When the fight was over, nothing was solved, but nothing mattered.
Cool.
Afterwards, we all felt saved.
The rules of Fight Club structure a space where the shadow self can emerge freely, highlighting both the power and danger of confronting our inner darkness. Through these rules, Fight Club becomes a ritualized, cathartic outlet for expressing the parts of the self that are typically hidden. Just as engaging with our shadow self allows us to acknowledge, understand, and ultimately integrate our repressed qualities into a balanced, whole identity.
We all started seeing things differently. Everywhere we went, we were sizing things up. I felt sorry for guys packed into gyms, trying to look like how Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger said they should. That what a man looks like?
Self-improvement is masturbation. Now self-destruction.
And Tyler's presence forces the narrator into a hyper-masculine state, obsessed with control, strength, and detachment. This distorted masculinity suppresses the feminine qualities of compassion, gentleness, and introspection, embodied by Marla.
Now listen, can't have you talking to her about me.
Why would I talk to her?
Say anything about me or what goes on in this house to her or to anybody. We're done.
Don't worry, I'm leaving.
Yeah, not that we don't love your little visit.
You know, you are such a nutcase. I can't even begin to keep up.
Thanks, bye.
Tyler ridicules Marla, encourages the narrator to treat her poorly, symbolizing the way an unchecked shadow can suppress the feminine energy within, ultimately leading to inner imbalance.
You kids.
Why would he still waste time with her?
I'll say this about Marla. At least she's trying to hit bottoms.
Yes, these are bruises from fighting. Yes, I'm comfortable with that. I am enlightened.
The shadow contains everything we'd rather avoid or ignore, including emotional pain, fear, and anger.
What is this?
This is a chemical burn.
When Tyler pours lye on the narrator's hand, the immediate pain forces him to confront reality.
Meditation worked for cancer, could work for this.
Stay with the pain. Don't shut this out. No! God! Look at your hand.
The chemical burn symbolizes how engaging with the shadow is often painful.
Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing.
I tried not to think of the words serum or flesh.
Stop it! This is your pain. This is your burning hand. It's right here.
By preventing the narrator from numbing the pain, Tyler forces him to stay with the uncomfortable truths of his shadow.
No, what you're feeling is premature enlightenment.
It's the burn of facing parts of ourselves we'd prefer to keep hidden.
It's the greatest moment of your life, man, and you're off somewhere missing.
Tyler tells the narrator to stay present in the pain rather than escaping it, symbolizing the need to face rather than avoid our own inner darkness.
Listen to me. You have to consider the possibility that God does not like you, never wanted you. In all probability, he hates you.
Tyler stops the narrator from using his calm place visualization, telling him not to escape. This symbolizes the breaking down of the ego's illusions and false control, which are often defenses against the shadow.
Look at me. Or you can use vinegar to neutralize the burn.
Please let me have it, please.
First, you have to give up. First, you have to know, not fear, know that someday you're gonna die.
Accepting our shadow includes recognizing our own limitations, vulnerabilities, and eventual mortality, which humbles us.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
This painful, humbling moment pushes the narrator to see himself without the ego's false sense of control. Tyler tells the narrator, you have to consider the possibility that God doesn't like you. He never wanted you. This shocking statement is a dark night of the soul moment.
Congratulations. You're one step closer to hitting bottom.
Where the narrator stripped of comforting beliefs. The chemical burn itself, like fire, is symbolic of purification. In many spiritual traditions, fire is a transformative force that burns away impurities. Similarly, the chemical burn represents the cleansing, purifying process of shadow work, where our old superficial layers are burned away, leaving behind a more authentic self. The scar is a mark of transformation, reminder of pain and growth required to face one's shadow. By embracing the pain and letting it change him, the narrator begins integrating his shadow. Bearing the scar is a symbol of self-awareness and authenticity. Tyler says it best, it's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. He's pushing the narrator to drop the ego's illusions. It's not about losing things, it's about shedding every fake layer, every persona, and finally seeing what's underneath.
About the guy that invented this thing?
Well, yeah, actually,
I hear all kinds of things.
Yeah?
Supposedly, he was born in a mental institution, and he sleeps only 1 hour a night. He's a great man. Do you know about Tyler Durden?
In Tyler's monologue, he exposes his growing awareness of his suppressed desires, repressed rage, and discontent with a life shaped by societal expectations.
This was mine and Tyler's gift, our gift to the world.
He expresses a deep satisfaction with his materialistic, corporate-driven lifestyle. He realizes he's been living as a slave to possessions, routines, and social expectations, which symbolizes his false self, the persona he's constructed to conform to society. This self is a mask, hiding his true desires, anger, and individuality.
Man, I see in Fight Club the strongest and smartest men who've ever lived. I see all this potential, and I see it squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars.
His words express the shadow's resentment.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
Toward the falsity of his life and reveal his growing awareness.
We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression.
Of how hollow it feels.
Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
The monologue is also a catalyst for the narrator's transformation.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
The first conscious acknowledgement that his life isn't what he truly desires. By vocalizing these feelings, he opens the door to confront his shadow, setting off a journey that will bring him closer to self-acceptance and authenticity. The shadow often includes traits or emotions that we try to control or avoid. By surrendering to the present, painful experience, the narrator learns that true power comes from acknowledging and integrating these suppressed parts by letting go.
This week, each one of you has a homework assignment. You're gonna go out, you're gonna start a fight with a total stranger. You're gonna start a fight, and you're gonna lose.
Project Mayhem in Fight Club symbolizes the unchecked and destructive power of the shadow self when it isn't properly integrated or balanced. It represents what happens when suppressed anger, frustration, and the desire for freedom explode uncontrollably, leading to chaos rather than personal growth. And Project Mayhem represents the narrator's internal war projected outward. Rather than facing his own insecurities, fears, and frustrations, he channels them into a crusade against the outside world. It's a manifestation of the aggressive primal side that exists within the shadow, but needs conscious awareness to prevent it from taking over. This scene changed my life, from wanting to be a doctor, dentist, and lawyer to an artist in high school. It rocked me to my core.
What kind of homework assignment?
Human sacrifice.
Hey, is that a gun? Please tell me that's not a gun.
It's a gun.
What are you doing?
Meet me in the back.
No, hey, don't fuck around.
Meet me in the back.
On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
In the scene where Tyler nearly sacrifices the convenience store clerk, Raymond, he embodies the shadow's dark, transformative force.
Raymond, you're going to die.
By threatening Raymond's life, Tyler forces him to confront his repressed desires and the life he truly wants but has settled on ignoring. This intense moment highlights the shadow's power to shock us out of complacency.
Required community college student ID. What'd you study, Raymond?
Breaking down our comfort zones to awaken hidden potential.
I asked you what you studied.
Biology mostly.
Why?
I don't know.
What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel? The question, Raymond, was what did you want to be?
Answer him, Raymond. Jesus.
Veterinarian.
Animals.
Yeah, animals. So.
Good stuff. Yeah, I got that. That means you have to get more schooling.
Too much school.
Would you rather be dead?
No.
Through brutal and morally questionable, the shadow's role here is to catalyze change, pushing Raymond and the narrator to recognize what they truly want and shake free from unfulfilled, stagnant lives.
Gonna check in on you. I know where you live. If you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian in 6 weeks, you will be dead.
Tyler's extreme approach shows that while the shadow can be frightening, it also holds the key to awakening hidden purpose, passion, and a more authentic life. Pretty relatable to what's happening in the world.
I feel ill.
Imagine how he feels.
Come on, this isn't funny. That wasn't funny. What the fuck was the point of that?
Tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of Raymond K. Hassel's life. His breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I have ever tasted.
You had to give it to him.
Come on.
He had a plan, and it started to make sense in a Tyler sort of way. No fear, no distractions. The ability to let that which does not matter truly slide.
By becoming aware of his shadow and integrating it, the narrator moves from chaos to balance, from denial to responsibility, and from fragmentation to wholeness.
You are not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. You are the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This integration empowers him to act authentically, balancing his darker traits with compassion and self-awareness, and ultimately freeing him from the unconscious control of his repressed self.
Stop trying to control everything and just let go. Let go!
All right, fine.
And the narrator eventually realizes the Project Mayhem and Tyler have grown beyond his control, symbolizing how the shadow can overpower us if it isn't consciously acknowledged and integrated. Project Mayhem becomes a monstrous force of its own, showing how our suppressed traits and repressed desires can wreak havoc when we avoid self-awareness.
The people you are after are the people you depend on. We cook your meals, we haul your trash, we connect your calls, we drive your ambulances, we guard you while you sleep. Do not fuck with us.
And the more he tries to distance himself from Tyler and Project Mayhem, the more they gain power, reflecting the shadow's tendency to grow stronger when ignored or denied.
And then Tyler was gone. Was I asleep? Had I slept?
When the narrator realizes that Tyler Durden is his own shadow, unrecognized part of himself, It represents his dark night of the soul, a profound crisis where he faces the truth of his own inner darkness.
Who do you think I am?
Are you sure this isn't a test?
No, this is not a test.
You're Mr. Durden. You're the one who gave me this.
Please return your seat backs to their full, upright, and locked position.
The dark night of the soul is a painful confrontation with one's deepest fears, doubts, and the parts of oneself that has been hidden. And throughout the story, the narrator has constructed a life based on societal approval, materialism, and conformity.
Why do people think that I'm you?
I think you know.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Why would anyone possibly confuse you with me?
I don't know.
Tyler's emergence as his shadow self has challenged and dismantled those illusions.
No.
Do not fuck with us!
Say it. Because.
Say it.
Because we're the same person.
That's right.
We are the all singing, all dancing crack. I don't understand this.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do this on your own. All the ways you wish you could be, that's me.
Realizing that Tyler is his own creation humbles the narrator, breaking down his ego and making him realize he's been controlled by parts of himself he didn't even know existed.
It's impossible.
No.
This is crazy.
People do it every day. They talk to themselves. They see themselves as they'd like to be. They don't have the courage you have to just run with it.
This humility is crucial for a genuine reawakening.
Naturally, you're still wrestling with it, so sometimes you're still you.
We should do this again sometime.
Other times, you imagine yourself watching me.
If this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Little by little, you're just letting yourself become Tyler Durden.
And throughout this revelation, he begins to shed the ego-driven illusions and reawakens to a more balanced, authentic self. And at the end, when the narrator begins to integrate a shadow, he also reaches out to Marla, symbolizing his acceptance of his inner feminine and vulnerability.
Well, I know that I've been acting very, very strange. Okay, I know that it's gotta seem like there's two sides to me when you're with me.
Two sides. You're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass.
I deserve that, but look, I've come to realize something very, very important.
What?
The full extent of our relationship wasn't really clear to me up until now for reasons I'm not gonna go into, but the important thing is I know that I haven't been treating you so. I'm trying to tell you that I'm sorry. Because what I've come to realize is that I really like you, Marla.
You do?
I really do. I care about you, and I don't want anything bad to happen to you because of me.
By finally acknowledging her, he starts to find balance between his masculine and feminine energies, which allows him to transcend the shadow's control and become whole. Marla's presence in Fight Club serves as a constant reminder of the narrator's suppressed feminine energy, his emotional side, his need for genuine connection, and his capacity for vulnerability.
Tyler, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Tyler's influence as a shadow keeps him from embracing these qualities, but as the narrator becomes conscious of this repression, he moves closer to integrating both his masculine and feminine aspects, finding a path to inner balance and self-acceptance. The shadow self isn't meant to be ignored, and it's not meant to take over. It's meant to be faced, understood, and integrated. Tyler pushed the narrator to see everything he's been denying, and through that chaos, he found the parts of himself he locked away.
Hey, it's you and me. Friends.
Tyler. I want you to really listen to me. My eyes are open.
Fight Club shows us that true freedom comes from facing the shadow, from meeting the parts of yourself you've been hiding from. Are you ready to meet your own shadow and do the work? Because on the other side of fear, past everything you think you are, lies the power you've been waiting for.
What's that smell?
What happened?
I would ask.
You're shot.
Yes, shot.
Who did this?
I did, actually. Find some gauze.
You shot yourself?
Yes, but it's okay. Marla, look at me. I'm really okay. Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine. You met me at a very strange time in my life.
And I'm Billyrood, a manifestation coach, reality consultant, and I help people remember the purpose of this reality and why you are here. And please check out my platform, 58magazine.com, for more free content to empower your life.